She likes Jiang. She remembers his birthday, prepares surprises, and knows his every preference. She loves him. Therefore, a failure like me won't happen in her future marriage. I checked the time. It was 4:30 a.m. Exhaustion took over. 2:00 yuan. Whatever you wanted to know is clear now. Please leave. I need to rest. Before I could finish, she spoke in a clear, serious voice that stunned me. I am sorry. I didn't know those small things I ignored hurt you so much. It is my fault. I am sorry. It felt funny to me, hearing an apology from a woman who always thought of herself as superior. But she continued. However, there is one thing I don't agree with. I did not cheat, and I do not like Jiang Kanian at all. I only care for him to fulfill my sister's last wish. When people call him my husband, I don't correct them because if my sister were alive, he really would be her husband, I said coldly. It doesn't matter anymore. Pain was visible in her eyes. No, it is very important. In these 6 years that you were gone, Nymphin and I missed you very much. I want us to clear the misunderstandings and for you to come home. For a moment, I thought she was joking. I struggled for 10 years for freedom, and now she was asking me to return to that cage. I couldn't stop myself from laughing loudly. She looked shocked, unable to understand my laughter. I wiped tears from the corners of my eyes and took a deep breath. 2:00 yuan. Are you joking? I divorced you with great difficulty. I have my own career now. Why would I return? To be a nanny again? To run to your company every day with some stupid seafood porridge? If you want to fulfill your sister's last wish, take care of Jiang. Don't drag me into it. I owe nothing to your sister, to Jiang, or to you. I walked to the door and flung it open. Cold air and snow rushed in. Get out. Don't make me say it twice. Finally, she left. I collapsed onto the bed, but despite my exhaustion, I couldn't sleep. The next morning, I went to my job at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. My boss met me and said, Yantu, your work attitude and ability are strong. The Sioux Group wants to start a new energy project in Finland, which is beneficial for both countries. The Finnish leaders want to go back to our country with 2:00 yuan for an inspection, and we need an accompanying translator. I have recommended you. You've been abroad for 6 years. Use this chance to visit your family. I listened with a smile, but inside I was screaming. I knew this was all 2:00 yuan's doing. I stood up and said, Sir, don't worry. I will complete the task. That afternoon, I boarded a private jet with the inspection team. Someone had arranged the seating so that only an armrest separated me from 2:00 yuan. I pressed my eyes shut and turned my face away. Neither of us had slept, but she showed no signs of fatigue. After a while, a soft, thick blanket was placed over me. Than Yuan adjusted it carefully, trying not to wake me. I wasn't asleep. I was just avoiding her. When we landed, I saw the one person I still shared a blood relation with. Nymphin, now 9 years old, was standing in the waiting area holding his grandmother's hand. His eyes were red from crying. As soon as he saw me, he screamed, Papa! The inspection team leaders looked at each other in confusion. I smiled calmly and said, This child has probably lost his father. Beside me, Than Yuan whispered, So he understands Finnish. Nymphin tried to run toward me, but his grandmother held him back and led him away, maintaining her public image. I realized she was trying to use Nymphin to get me to do something, but I had no reason to listen to her anymore. For the next few days, the visit proceeded smoothly, as Than Yuan is always professional at work. But as soon as the inspection ended, she came to me. Will you come home with me to see Nymphin? He misses you dearly, I replied softly. Misses me. I was a father in name only. He didn't like me then, and after 6 years he should hate me even more. Besides, he likes Jiang as a dad, so you should just marry him. Your wish will be fulfilled, and your future husband can take care of the child. Than Yuan sighed. Must we talk like this? I looked her in the eyes. If you don't like it, we don't have to talk at all. I picked up my bags and went to my hotel. I had no reason to return to the Sioux family. Later, I met my best friend, who was also in the country. He hugged me tightly. You look like your real self now. It's been 6 years. We have so much to talk about. We talked for hours until my phone rang with an unknown number. It was Nymphin's class teacher. Are you Nymphin's father? He got into a fight at school. I called his mother, but she told me to contact you. My friend, irritated, grabbed the phone and said, Wrong number, before hanging up. Is Than Yuan crazy? You're divorced, you don't have custody, and you just got back. She's doing this on purpose. The phone rang again. It was the teacher again, sounding urgent. Please come to the school. A child's head has been injured, and the parents are waiting for you. Reluctantly, my friend and I went to the school. In the teacher's office, several children were standing with their parents. Nymphin stood alone. An injured child's parent was shouting at him, Why are you so violent? Didn't your father teach you not to hit people? Other children laughed, one saying, He doesn't even have a father. Nymphin's eyes turned red, and he looked ready to fight again like a small wolf. It was clear he had received proper martial arts training. When he saw me at the door, his eyes filled with tears, but he bit his lip and looked away. I ignored his attitude and said calmly to everyone, I am Nymphen's biological father, but I am divorced from his mother and do not have custody. If you want to talk about compensation, contact his mother, Tuo Thanyuan. Nymphen looked up in shock, then immediately bowed his head as tears fell. It felt strange. This was the same child who once asked me to divorce his mother. As soon as Thanyuan's name was mentioned, the other parents' attitudes softened immediately. Her name is always at the top of the financial news. She could have solved this easily, but she pushed it onto me, thinking it would awaken my fatherly feelings. Does she forget that love must be mutual? One parent said, even if you are divorced, the child hit someone. You must give us an explanation. I looked at Nymphen. Why did you fight? He stood stubbornly silent. I said coldly, if you won't speak, wait for your mother. I don't have time to waste here. He suddenly exploded like a cornered animal. They said I don't have a father. Are you happy now? Then he screamed, why doesn't mommy marry Jiang Canyon? He isn't like you. I hate you for leaving me. Nymphen screams. I let him yell, then furrow my brows slightly. When your mother and I were together, you wanted Jiang Canyon to be your father. Now that we are divorced, you can choose whoever you want. It makes no difference to me. The surrounding parents begin to whisper. Such a small child, and he encouraged his parents to divorce? No wonder his father doesn't want him. Another adds, I've seen that Jiang Canyon with the Tuo boss at events. I thought they were husband and wife. Turns out he's the third person. These words hit Nymphen's ears. Driven by rebellious instinct, he tries to run away, but stops after only a few steps. Suddenly, Tuo Thanyuan enters with her assistant and bodyguards. Her face is expressionless, but her presence is so heavy that the entire office falls silent. She looks at everyone with cold eyes and asks, what is happening here? No one speaks. Even Nymphen bows his head, not daring to take a deep breath. I look at her casually. I'm glad you're here. As his guardian, you should handle this. I'm leaving. I walk out, even as they call after me. My friend says angrily, why do you even bother with that ungrateful brat? Do you know that when you left, he insisted on making Jiang Canyon his new father? When Thanyuan slapped him, he ran away from home and was almost kidnapped. Jiang is the one who saved him. Their bond is very strong. We head out, and I quickly push the school incident from my mind. However, when we leave the bar later, slightly intoxicated, Thanyuan and Nymphen are standing there. She has been waiting for a long time, holding his hand. A flicker of emotion appears in her eyes when she sees me. Yantu, we need to talk. Knowing her stubborn nature, I don't want to waste time. I send my friend home in a cab and get into their car. Nymphen sits in the front, and I sit in the back with Thanyuan. The atmosphere is so heavy you can hear the driver swallow. The car stops in front of a restaurant. A waiter comes to open the door, but Thanyuan opens it herself first. I ignore her extended hand and step out. This is the very restaurant I had booked for my birthday 6 years ago. I had invited her, but she didn't come. Instead, she had booked an entire restaurant for Jiang Canyon that same day, leaving me without even a meal. Now, 6 years later, she is arranging all of this for me, but I no longer need these gestures. As soon as we sit, I speak plainly. Say what you have to say, but let me be clear. There will be no custody transfer and no remarriage. Thanyuan remains silent for a moment, as if holding back words. Nymphen glares at me, his eyes red as if he's about to cry, but I am no longer moved by his tears. Finally, Thanyuan asks, if you didn't like me, why did you marry me? I always thought we were a perfect match, and you were the most suitable son-in-law. There is a slight pain in her eyes, but I drift into the cold memories of my past. You don't know that I was a top student, but I hated my studies. At 16, your family chose me to be trained as their son-in-law. I rebelled against this arrangement, got into an early relationship, and was sent to a reform school. I was kept there until it was time for our marriage. My voice turns cold. I never want to remember those memories. I never wanted to be your husband. Not then. And not now. I continue. I once dreamed of a happy family, but your family shattered that dream. I realized the Tuo family is a cage. If I didn't leave, I would be imprisoned for life. Now, I have a new life. Just don't disturb me. I stand up to leave. And this restaurant? I have hated it ever since that night 6 years ago. I walk out without giving them a chance to respond. Her tearful voice follows me. I didn't know you suffered so much. But if you wanted a happy married life, does that mean you once liked me? If so, can we start over? I don't look back or answer. The next afternoon, my father, whom I haven't seen in years, suddenly visits me. A smile full of guilt and flattery is plastered on his face. Where have you been all these years? You didn't even call home. I look at his whitening hair and wonder what I feel. The man who once controlled me now bows before me. Father, say what you have to say. Don't beat around the bush. He didn't expect such a sharp tone. His smile stiffens. I came to see you because you haven't been home in years. Can't we have a meal together? He asks. He mentions that the Tuo boss has been paying a lot of attention to their family lately, and that it's clear she still has feelings for me. He suggests that both families should sit down and talk, reminding me that my marriage to Tuo Thanyuan was decided when I was 16. I see through his hidden agenda. My smile turns even colder. Are you suggesting that I should remarry Tuo Thanyuan? My father nods quickly. his eyes filling with schemes. I laugh sarcastically. What has the Tuo family promised you this time? Resources? Cooperation? A new project? If the Gu family can only survive by selling their son, it's better if you go bankrupt and close down. His smile vanishes, replaced by anger. A few years abroad have made you tough. Is this how you talk to your father? He yells that if someone hadn't told Thanyuan about me being sent to that academy, she wouldn't have withdrawn her investment, causing the Gu company's market value to drop by half overnight. He tries to grab my hand to force me to meet her, but I shake him off. However, I agree to go. It was time to cut off this rotting part of the Gu family. An hour later, I am in the main hall of the Tuo house. I see Thanyuan and her mother, but I ignore them and sit down. Thanyuan speaks softly. Yantu, why did you call me here today? I tell her she doesn't need to say anything. For me, her absence is the best thing. I see a flicker of heartbreak in her eyes. She says she doesn't want to force me, but my father interrupts. He places an expensive bottle of wine on the table and offers it to Thanyuan and her mother with great enthusiasm. Yantu has always been stubborn, but I have scolded him, he says. Now that he's back, he will behave with the Tuo boss. Let's pick an auspicious day to arrange the marriage again. He pours a glass for Thanyuan. To him, I have always been a tool to be used for his convenience. Suddenly, the main door is flung open. Bodyguards enter, followed by a man in an official coat. He speaks in a stern voice. What era is this that arranged marriages are still being forced? How dare you bring someone from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs here and try to coerce them? The Gu family freezes. My father tries to flatter him, but the elderly man glares at him. Forced marriages were abolished in Openly forcing a ministry employee is a direct insult to the law. The people who once thought of me as a mere servant look on in shock. My father, confused, claims there is no ministry employee. The elder ignores him, looks at me, and smiles. Yantu, come here. My father asks if he has the wrong person, claiming his son never even went to college. Before he can finish, bodyguards seize him. I stand before the elder and apologize that my family problems brought him here. I had messaged a friend at the ministry before leaving, and this elder is a former leader of the department whom I have met before. He praises me as an excellent member of the ministry, an expert in 5 languages with outstanding ability. He tells me he wants me to return to work immediately. I agree, eager to leave. A high-end car enters the gates, followed by police cars. As I close the car door, police officers approach my father and show their badges. They state that the place where he had previously sent me was found to be involved in illegal activities, and he must face an inquiry. He screams that he did not, but no one listens. The dinner is over. As I am about to get into the car with the leader, a voice calls out, "Papa." I stop. The leader nods, acknowledging that family time is rare for a diplomat. He drives away, leaving me to face Thanyuan and Nymphen. The boy is holding his mother's hand, looking at me with tear-filled eyes. He tries to stop himself from crying. Does Papa really not want to be my Papa? Do you really not want me? Nymphen asks in a trembling voice. He says that he and his mother have missed me all these years, and that he often sees her staring at my photo in the study. He asks for forgiveness for the things he said when he was younger. My heart aches. He is my son, after all. But I cannot simply replace my old self and forgive him. I look at him with soft eyes. The time we spent together was very short. Even out of those 3 years, there was a year when you didn't understand the world. Yet, I held you every day and talked to you. You probably don't remember any of it. But as you grew, you developed a different mindset and wanted someone else to be your father. Even if you were an innocent child, my pain was real. I continue. I wasn't in your life for the next 6 years and played no role in your upbringing. Honestly, I have no right to scold you. But even as a child, being a child is no excuse, and this mistake is not easily forgiven. As I walk away, a painful cry echoes behind me. Papa, forgive me. I don't stop. Let them call me cold or irresponsible. I have already given him the best starting point. With Thanyuan, he has the best education, care, and a future where he inherits the Tuo group. A few days later, Thanyuan drops me off at the airport. She doesn't ask about remarriage. She simply looks at me and says, Yantu, if everything could start over, I would cherish you. I would truly love you, instead of only feeling regret after losing everything. I always thought you would stay by my side. I don't answer. I look at the flight display and remember the last time she saw me off, when we couldn't even say a proper goodbye. Thanyuan, let's say goodbye properly this time. She tries to speak, but stops. I open my arms. Don't be so sad. I am still an old friend who understands you. How about a hug? She hugs me tightly before I can even finish, the familiar scent surrounding me. She holds me so hard it's difficult to breathe. I sigh and pat her back, feeling her shoulders shake. I tell her softly that if she finds the right person, she should remarry and treat them well. She shakes her head, a cold tear falling onto my neck. Fate plays strange games. I always thought she had no feelings for me, so I left without looking back. Now it's a missed chance and a permanent regret. She whispers into my ear that she is sorry she never hugged me like this before. My eyes grow warm, but I smile and say it doesn't matter anymore. We must move forward. She holds my hand and says she will never remarry, and Nymphen will only ever have one father. She tells me that even if I don't forgive her, they will always wait for me. Nymphen runs from behind a pillar, his eyes red. Papa, forgive me. I will wait for you until you are ready to be my papa again. I kneel and wipe his tears, just as I used to. I'm sorry, Nymphen. I can't always be with you, but I will always be your father. No one can change that. But before being a father, I have to live for myself. The announcement for my flight to Helsinki rings out. I pat his head one last time, look at Thanyuan, and tell her to take him home. I pick up my suitcase and walk away without looking back. As the plane soars above the clouds, the city lights sparkle like a web below. Perhaps blood will bring us together again one day, but my decision remains unchanged. The road ahead is long, and this time, I am living only for myself.